Take thee, Anna, to be my wedded wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
For better, for worse, for rich or for poor.
For better, for worse, for rich or for poor.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish, forsaking all others.
To love and to cherish, forsaking all others. An overwhelming 64% of voters in Tennessee stand for life.
The jury found Duggar guilty on both counts of possessing and receiving.
Josh Duggar indicted for downloading and possessing.
In 2015, the world was informed that this picture-perfect family wasn't perfect at all. 19 children, strict Christian values, and a life built on faith, discipline, and devotion. The Duggars invited the world into their home as viewers are intrigued of how one man and one woman can navigate parenting so easily, as many struggled with only 2 kids. You're about to see how a son of a Christian fundamentalist family fell from being at the peak of his career to the pit of the world and becoming the world's most hated criminal. Josh Duggar was born on March 3rd, 1988. He is the first child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar and is what fans of the show like to call their golden boy. Josh was not a typical boy growing up compared to other young boys of his age group. He didn't have access to PlayStation, Game Boys, or join a local basketball team in the community, but he, along with his other brothers, used their hands in terms of building, fixing, and using creative skills. As being homeschooled in the 90s and early 2000s, his skills started to turn into knowledge from the Advanced Training Institute. It's a curriculum centered around biblical principles, a big focus on family structure, character development, and specific subjects centered on submission to authority. Moral impurity was also a main focus. Although Josh wanted to become an attorney, he ultimately never attended college, as he and his siblings were taught life skills will take you further than a college education. As a teen, Josh and his siblings were kept away from most outside social events because of his parents. They felt that they would be defrauded. The way the others dressed, specifically women, would be bad for the boys, and if there were skin showing, they had to turn their head away and use a code word, Nike. Jim Bob even said catalogs that come in the mail for advertisements of underwear on them were not allowed, and he would trash them before the kids saw them. But that didn't just stop Josh from being curious. In 2002 and 2003, Josh crossed the line and did the unthinkable. A babysitter and 4 of his sisters were violated and touched inappropriately by Josh. According to reports that were released by In Touch magazine in 2015, Jim Bob Duggar waited more than a year after Josh confessed to the assault before contacting the police. A year. Jim Bob informed the elders of his church about what Josh did, and the church elders even waited an additional 3 months before contacting authorities. The report was hidden since 2006.
And he had touched over the couch and actually while they were asleep.
An FOIA request was requested by In Touch magazine. The report said that Jim Bob told the police he was alerted by a female minor of what Josh was doing to her while she tried to sleep. No one was alerted. Instead, Josh was sent to a Christian program for rehabilitation, but Michelle later admitted to the police that Josh did not receive counseling, and instead, he was just sent to a family friend's home who remodels houses. They let Josh return in their home just 3 months after he was away. He returned back into the same house as his victims, and filming continued. At age 18, Josh and his wife Anna Keller met at a Christian homeschooling convention in 2006. Not long after meeting, they began a courtship. The difference between courting and dating is courting is dating with the intention to marry. What they like to say, it's dating with a purpose. And on September 26, 2008, they both were married in Florida. Anna and her family shared some of the same beliefs as the Duggars and were informed of Josh's prior convictions. Anna's dad said that Josh is the best thing for Anna. While sharing the same beliefs, that even includes a woman being available to her husband at all times and letting God decide how many kids they have. Within just a few months after they wed, Anna got pregnant with her first daughter, Mackenzie. She gave birth on the show despite their modesty rules and continued having babies back to back. Josh was working as a car salesman until he received a job offer from Washington, D.C. as a Family Research Council executive director. How ironic. As Josh got comfortable in his position at FRC, things suddenly became dark.
Our son Josh was one of like 30 some million people. There was like 20 million men that were on that list that was exposed to the public. And Joshua was the poster child for this whole secret adultery website. And even in Arkansas, we had many people who were businessmen. There were 2 current state representatives that were on that list.
Josh Duggar and his family of 5 at the time were getting settled in Washington as an exec of FRC, and they were alerted that the show 19 Kids and Counting was going to rebrand without Josh being a part of it and call it Jill and Jessa Counting On. The show was intended to be a spinoff and solely focus on Jill and Jessa starting their families and how they adjust to motherhood. But this comes after they were allegedly forced to do an interview on the Megyn Kelly show.
Sitting here today was when I said, victims, you furrowed your brow a little. I mean, do you feel like the victim of?
Well, I think in the case of what Josh did, it was very wrong. I'm not going to justify anything that he did or say it was okay. Not permissible, but I do want to speak up in his defense against people who are calling him or some people are saying. I'm like, that is so overboard and a lie, really. I mean, people will get mad at me for saying that, but I'm like, I can say this.
In this interview, you could tell the girls were very uncomfortable to talk about what happened in the past with Josh, especially while he was sitting in the same room listening and looking, according to Jill in her memoir. That interview was damage control by Jim Bob to make his Golden Boys crimes look less than what it really was, but actually it made things worse. In July of 2015, an unknown group announced that they had stolen user data of Ashley Madison, a website that allows married men to have affairs. The hackers copied personal information and threatened to release names if they don't shut this website down. And guess what? Josh's name was on that list. Another embarrassment to the family. Josh made a statement that reads, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. I have secretly, over the last several years, been viewing P on the internet, and this became a secret addiction. And I became unfaithful to my wife the last few years. While publicly stating I was fighting against immorality in our country, I was hiding my own personal failures." It's not that people can't make mistakes, but it started becoming a repetitive nature for Josh. After Josh's affair came out, Anna gives her take on it.
Hard. It was just like, how could this happen in our marriage? Josh was my first love. He's my one and only. But I knew that my only hope was to cling to my faith, because I know if I went off of what I was feeling, I would turn a mess into a disaster.
After all, the family returned in December of 2015. Although the nature of Josh's actions were shocking, Anna stuck by him in hopes that her family will get back together and they will be back as one. She also hoped that this would be an eye-opener for Josh and the Lord will forgive him. But no one knew that this was only the beginning of Josh's addictions.
I'm curious, you're saying there's images being uploaded or images being downloaded?
That the IP address from this lot